Orbian was incorporated a little over 20 years ago, and it was founded by two of the largest corporations in the world, Citibank and SAP. And in many respects, this has defined the DNA of Orbian ever since. It's a technology-enabled financial services company. But I think one of the ways now to think about it as well, since we were taken private in 2004 and subsequently have evolved our ownership structure since then, a key differentiator for Orbian is not just that we are solely focused on supply chain finance, that sprung from the genesis of the company within a very strong parenthood, and that has now evolved into something that is now a very long-term, very well-established shareholder base that is no longer chasing valuations. It's not chasing an exit from the business. It is people that want to be invested in the business for the very long term. And this has a very important differentiation for us, because what it means is that our clients and our staff today are the most important for us. That clients tomorrow are important, but they're not as important as serving the clients that we have today.
Honestly, I think our key differentiator is our management team, which I consider the most experienced in this industry. And the same actually is true for our staff. Due to our focus on supply chain finance and our staff retention, I think we have the most experienced staff as well, which is very important to our clients, as we allocate, for example, a relationship manager to a program, and that relationship manager stays in charge for lifetime. And that makes a tangible difference to our clients. Obviously, and you may expect that, we have a fully digitized enrollment room, which is absolutely core when it comes to supplier onboarding. Having said that, we are not aiming for onboarding a supplier within 15 seconds, because it is absolutely important to us that anybody who deals with us, be it our buyer or our suppliers, know exactly what they're getting into. And this is what we achieve by having a super slim process, but still any opportunity to ask questions for any supplier that we will address properly.
Orbian Tungsten Network was established a little over 2 years ago, and it's a joint venture between Orbian and the Tungsten Network, which is one of the largest fintech companies specializing in e-invoicing. It's a listed UK company with about 200 major buyer customers and 160,000 supplier customers. Orbian Tungsten Network, the joint venture, is the dedicated and sole provider of finance across this network. It's an important tool by which Tungsten seeks to monetize the flow and to provide an additional service for the suppliers and buyers that are using its services. For Orbian, it's been a very interesting new opportunity for us to develop a new client base, and it is one that we continue to be very excited about the prospects for the delivery under this joint venture arrangement.
The development of the e-card is fundamentally important to us, because we know, and it's backed by studies that we did, that the eligibility of a program to a supplier and the enrollment process is the key success factor of any program. So with the card, we are now able to offer supply chain finance to suppliers that otherwise would not be eligible to a program. That's very important. And B, some of the suppliers that would not join a traditional program is willing to join a card-based program just because they do not have to assign their receivables, which again is a totally different story to any supplier.
So Orbian, as we've talked about before, has been actively engaged within the supply chain finance world for over 20 years now. And over that period, we've evolved a very rich set of data about the behavior that exists between buyers and suppliers. And we've worked very closely with some academic organizations around the world, particularly in Germany, that we've used to analyze the behavioral, if you like, the psychology of supply chain finance. And that's had some very interesting implications for us in terms of the way that we think about supplier enrollment, with the way we think about strategies for that. But one of the great developments that we were able to secure a few years ago, and that we have now rolled out, and that accounts for about 20% of our total business now, is actually what we call the fixed rate offering. So rather than the programs being priced based off LIBOR or other floating rate metrics, SONIA and other things that are evolving now, plus a spread, which is the way that supply chain finance programs are generally arranged. Instead, we offer suppliers the opportunity to lock in the rates that they will pay on the discounts that they have for periods of 1, 2, 3, 4, or even 5 years. This has very important implications for the facility with which buyers and suppliers can now negotiate the terms of access to the supply chain finance program. For us, it presents a significant array of risk management challenges because we have to manage interest rate exposure in an uncertain business environment, meaning that we don't necessarily know how much a buyer is going to purchase, how much the supplier is going to discount. But what we do have is access to this vast array of data that we've acquired over the last 20 years that enables us to create models that allow us to risk manage this position and deliver what is, quite frankly, an utterly unique proposition for both buyers and suppliers.